Welcome to BMG Reviews. I'm Big Mark, and this was my first experience in the first hour of Tales of Arise. In this series, I talk about my first impressions and feelings in the first hour of newer games, so you can get an idea of what you're getting into while you wait for my full review, if the game grabs my attention enough to want to keep going. Jumping right into it, Tales of Arise is the 17th game in the series, starting off strong with killer graphics, an interesting anime-esque art style, and a unique combat system. When you first start off, the game asks you to agree to its data collection policy, but gives you the option to decline, and I love that. Data privacy is huge, and giving people the ability to not take part in collection is a big thumbs up for me. Let's first talk about performance. How well does this game play on day one? This game absolutely nails it, holding a solid 120 frames per second during gameplay and locked at 60 FPS during cutscenes at 4K on a 3090 and 11900K. There wasn't any stuttering to be seen, any frame drops, or even a hint of bad optimization the entire hour that I played. Check out my full review when it drops for more on performance with other PC setups. Next, we'll hit on visuals. This game is beautiful, done in an anime art style not unique to this series by any stretch, but by far the best implementation I've seen, switching between the standard gameplay that gives a real sense of depth without straying from the cel-shaded-ish graphics, to the hand-drawn anime-style cutscenes, and even into the cutscenes reminiscent of comic books. Scarlet Nexus had a similar style of comic book cutscene, but the implementation here feels a lot more cohesive and thought out. But is Tales of Arise fun? Honestly, yeah. But there's a caveat to that. It's a Tales game. If you're a fan of the series, you'll know what I mean. It's very cutscene and story heavy, lots of NPCs to talk to, a lot of lore, and a lot of names to remember. But this one slaps you right into the new world and doesn't really hold anything back from the get-go. Let me say, though, this game is absolutely not playable on keyboard and mouse, unless you've got 10 fingers on each of your hands. It was built for controller, and that's pretty obvious from the control layout. So with that out of the way, let's get into the combat. Combat system in this game is a nice revision from past games. You have one button press for attacks, 3 different assignable buttons for arts, jump, and dodge. The whole key to this combat at first glance is to avoid taking damage and to string together combos the best that you can. It's got a small learning curve, but it's well balanced and easy to get the hang of. But the team AI really isn't the best right off the bat, at least at first impression. Standing in place attempting to heal you and making no effort whatsoever to dodge any enemy attacks, but you can easily switch to any team member at any time and do it yourself, so it's really not that big of a deal. The combat can be unforgiving even on normal difficulty. Things like spamming attacks can get you down rather quickly as enemies do a lot more damage than in past games. There's a lot more to discover within the combat system, but I'll be going more into depth with that in my full review. Last but not least, let's talk about sound. The sound in this game is awesome.
What could a Dahnan like you possibly gain from helping a Renan like me?
Trust me, I've no great love for Renans. I guess I'm just not as consumed with hatred
as to be expected from a Tales game. The music is very similar to a lot of more recent anime, with the ambient tracks very well put together, taking a lot of inspiration from a lot of modern animes as well. The voice actors here are almost all recognizable, with the first lead character being voiced by Ray Chase, the voice behind a lot of characters in video games and anime, but more recently recognizable as Prince Noctis in Final Fantasy XV. Many of the voice actors here are recognizable and are very experienced in what they do, leading to a really killer set of English voiceovers that really help immerse you in the world.
And its fearsome beasts, known as Zeugles.
But that's pretty much all for my first initial look at Tales of Arise. If there's any other games you'd like me to take a look at or to try out, or if you just want to tell me your experience with the game, leave a comment below and follow me on Twitter at BigMarkGames and tell me all about it. Until next time, stay big, stay healthy, and stay happy, friends.
The world of Dahna fell under Renan rule.
Someone's in a bad mood.